Hi there, my name is Bria Smith, and today we're at the Solano Community College studio, and I'm here with Borg of Early College High School. Hey, Dime.
Hi, Bria.
So, what have you been up to lately?
Nothing much. I've had school and work recently, and that's mainly what I do on a regular basis, and sleep.
Okay, school. So have you been thinking about college lately?
Yeah, I recently actually today just worked on like the school portals and stuff during class.
Okay. What colleges have you started applying to?
I applied to CSU San Diego, and I think it's San Diego. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while. And CSU Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Okay. So, as you know, colleges always look for certain qualities and traits in the students who apply for them. In your opinion, what do you consider your best qualities or attributes?
I feel like I'm a people person, kind of. Like, I'm enough of a people person to talk to people and be able to talk to people. That's the same thing twice, but and just support people and listen to them. I think I can be a pretty good listener. Of course, it depends on the day. If I've had a terrible day, I might not be in the mood to listen to someone talk about something random, but I like talking to people and I like getting to know people. So I think that's a strong character that could be helpful in like a college situation or even just future careers.
Okay. So you'd say you're very open and understanding.
I think so.
On the flip side, what do you think are some characteristics that you might want to work on yourself, either for college reasons or just for personal reasons?
Well, for one, I don't think I'm the most academically impressive student. I mean, I don't think I'm extremely impressive academically wise, but also best performance wise. I kind of flake out on turning in some homework on time and just doing things that I'm supposed to, or being an active student within my school. I think I could definitely improve on that, especially as senior year is going. I want to be a good student. I want to turn in my things. I want to end out strong, even if it's not perfect. I don't think I need all A's to prove that I'm a decent student, but I would love to have B's and A's and not to have a lot of late homework and to be active in my school. I think that would be cool.
Right. So academics was one of the main things you want to focus on, and that makes me wonder, do you feel that the COVID pandemic had a lot of effect on that? Because I know a lot of people in our grade feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think, so we're class of 2023, so that means we had sophomore year was completely online, and then the end of freshman year was all online. Correct. So the beginning years of our high school was kind of all skewed up with that. And it was just, I don't know, it was kind of weird because you just, at least for me, I woke up right on time. I woke up at 8 o'clock most of the time. School starts at 8, and then I just rolled over, got on my computer. So that kind of set me up to not be the most productive in the morning. And then, of course, there are several occasions where I fell asleep in class. And then, I don't know, during school wasn't my biggest priority. It was mainly just doing whatever I wanted to do. So oftentimes I was playing video games. I had gotten a Switch at the time. I was playing a lot of Animal Crossing and Minecraft, and that's what my focus was on rather than school. I still did my homework, and I still got to talk to my classmates, but it's a definitely different. The push towards school is very different when it's online, especially when I think it was the first semester of online school, which was the half end of the second semester of freshman year. It was you don't have to turn in your work. Your grades are going to be the same that they were when we went online. So if you had an A in that time, you could have just did stuff. I still did things, but then going on into sophomore year, it was just way more relaxed for me, but there wasn't enough push for me to actually maintain being a good student.
So how do you think you could grow from that, or how do you think students could work back to getting to where they were maybe before the freshman year for us, when they felt more academically strong? Or how have you been working on that, if you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, for one, it's a very different world than we were 2-3 years ago in many different ways, and I can't just say it all in one sentence. But now my motivation is kind of I want I want to have a house or at least an apartment when I'm older, preferably as soon as possible. But I know that's going to be different, especially with like, for one, colleges want you to live on the campus for like the first 2 years or first 1 to 2 years. But I am thinking of like, if I go to college now, I can have a more stable career in the future. So that's pushing me to perform better. But also sometimes I'm like, if I'm too tired or something, I'm just like, I don't really need to do this. I'll just keep pushing it off. But the thing is, I keep pushing things off and off and off. So then eventually it catches up to me where it's either a late assignment or I'm so pressured to put it in or get it done in such a short amount of time that it's not actually a good reflection of who I am. I feel like I'm getting sidetracked. Let me go back. So for my own motivation, it's finding resources and then also ways of working, like systems that help me actually do better. For a while, I was doing the sticker thing where every time I did a question on like a math homework, I gave myself a sticker, or every time I did an assignment. And that was like pushing me, but then eventually I kind of forgot about the stickers. So if I get back to that or just find my own ways of like rewarding myself for doing better, because my brain kind of has a hard time imagining long-term rewards, so I need those short-term to like push me.
Well, thank you for that educational piece. As you know, it is currently Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day time.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And I do know that you have a Valentine that you'll probably be spending the rest of the day with. But if you could spend the day with yourself, what would you do and what would you say to yourself?
I still don't know how to answer that question, because we were talking about it earlier. But it'd be kind of weird to see like myself, because for one, there's also like perceiving yourself. You see yourself in a mirror, but that's not your true. That's not how other people see yourself. So it'd be kind of weird to be like, whoa, that's what I look like. Like, oh, that's maybe I shouldn't wear that. And just I probably overthink myself that, but I feel like I think a lot of the like it would be hard to imagine. But if I had to spend a day with myself,
A whole 24 hours.
a whole 24 hours, there's so many things I have to do. I tell them to take my car to the maintenance shop. You go get it smog checked. Yeah, yeah, I might actually would do that instead of like, yeah.
Okay. So that's if you met yourself, you right now, hanging out with you right now.
I'd make them do the things.
You'd make them do your chores.
Yeah.
Nice. If it was you right now, having to spend a whole 24 hours with, say, your middle school self.
Ooh.
Anything you'd want to do, anything you want to tell them, warn them, by chance?
There was a lot of personal things going on in middle school. I don't. Probably give some fashion idea. I know it doesn't look like much because I'm wearing sweatpants, but be like, stop wearing pattern galaxy leggings.
No.
Okay, we'll keep that for 6th grade. But moving on to 7th grade.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
Are you mourning my past self?
She was really pretty. Anyway.
Okay, so I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of cool to just talk to them and be like, your emotions are valid. You know, it's okay to talk to people. It's okay, like, to work on yourself. You know, you're not going to be perfect, especially in, like, 7th, 8th grade.
Right.
But there's a lot of growing I've done since then, emotionally, physically. I'm taller, I think. Stop laughing. You're making
I wouldn't
me
know
laugh.
anything about being taller.
Okay, well, that's your fault. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, I think I'd just talk to myself and be like, so you can drive now. And I don't know, I feel like it would be weird. I wouldn't want to expose like stuff that I'd have to figure out myself. Not exposed to the camera, but I mean exposed to younger self. Be like, this is what you're going through.
But do you feel that you've grown positively since then?
Oh, sure. I mean, I've grown more comfortable with myself, and I still have problems, you know, that I face. Everyone has problems that they face. But, you know, I feel like past me was living however they wanted to live, and current me kind of lives however they wanted to live, still within restrictions of like school, and I have a job to go to. We're different people, but we're the same person. I think that's the best way to express it.
I get that. Well, a little birdie told me that you have a podcast.
Oh my God,
and
that's
so
crazy.
I was just wondering, what was the podcast about to begin with? What's the podcast about?
So the goal of the podcast is to talk about like teenagers, I guess, so it's with you, as you know. I hope you know that. And then with our friends, I said your name, Marianne and Tiana. And we're all teenagers. We all come from different backgrounds, but we're all friends, and we're all able to talk to each other. So our goal with this podcast is to relate the teenage experience and teenage interest, but not just like, for one, I know like you're going to be talking about video games. You're not just talking about, like, this is the newest video game coming out, blah, blah, blah. You're going to talk about how kind of society has formed video games to look, and then how videos have formed society to look at things. I don't think that's the best way of wording it, but, like, it's talking about viewpoints of teenagers and their experience, not just... It's talking about the viewpoints and experience of teenagers by relating it to their interest, which I think is really cool, and I'm excited for it. So the goal is just to talk about interest of teenagers and then different parts of life that impact their own lives.
So that's like the main idea of the podcast. But what do you specifically want to show the audience? What do you want to bring to the podcast?
Well, for my own episode, at first I was going to look into like LGBTQ plus things specifically, but then as I started doing the research, I was like, no, I want to look more into gender as a general topic. So I want to talk about like the queerness in gender, but also gender binaries, gender in society, and things like that, which I think I'm interested in talking about. Because I feel like people have a lot to learn about gender, or even if they don't have a lot to learn about gender specifically, it gives people new perspectives if they're going to be watching the podcast. Sorry, excuse me. So I'm excited to just be able to talk about that.
Well, it seems like you have a lot coming up. I'm sure we're all looking forward to this amazing, fantastic podcast that you have with 3 beautiful co-hosts.
Yes,
so
I agree.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell our audience before we close?
Subscribe to the Bops YouTube channel.
All right.
Well, that's all.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Again, my name is Bria Smith, shooting from the Solano Community College studio. Thank you so much, Dime, for coming with us. And we hope that you will continue to support us and like and to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Bria.
Thank you for coming, Dime.
Yay.
And